evolving past desire. Like mortal desire. Like the only things that really satisfy me anymore are like the big ideas. Everything else just feels so vanilla. You know, like huge ideas like money, time, space. Just it's macrocosmic, you know? That's where the big bucks are. Or I mean, actually, you know what? The microcosmic too. Like there is something really energizing about the little things, the everyday minutia in life. You know, like popping pimples. Have I told you about that? Oh boy. Okay, so like all throughout my youth, when I was growing up, I was always acne incarnate, right? Like pizza face wonder, but I never let it bum me out. You know, in fact, I loved housing my own like putrid colonies of life. Really, like every pustule is a peach, right? Every pimple is like this great idea, pregnant with pimply possibility. I would stand in front of the mirror and just like watch them come apart between my fingertips. Like I would imagine I was a god, right? Like the god of my own body. And and I would just like disband zit nebulas, you know, at a whim.
So I don't see a pimple on you.
Well, that's the thing. It's the darndest thing. I don't have them anymore. You know, I just like 1 week I noticed they started naturally clearing up through no intervention of my own, and then they're gone. You know, and it's this one way that I felt that I had control. Like, it really irked me. Like, it's this special thing, and then nothing. So, I prayed on every shooting star for a pimple. I got this laissez-faire attitude about my skin regimen, but it didn't matter. No dice. So, you know what I did? You want to know?
Yeah. What?
So now, I pop any pimple I can get my fingers on. No, literally, like I can't be in the same room with a visible blemish and not want to get to know it better. But, even when I hook up with someone, it's all I can really think about. My fingers like trail down their back, that like pimply braille. It's like a code. They're like asking me to like in their life, like set them free and help them ascend. God, it really is all I can think about sometimes. Like sometimes I'll ask for a cigarette, and I don't smoke. You know that, right? But I'll ask anyway. I'll get a cigarette not to light up, but just to pinch and pop. It's a compulsion. I mean, you know, one day I'm gonna pop a zit the size of Everest. I'm a conqueror, don't you know? I've got it in my blood. I think I'm evolving past desire. Mortal desire. Like, the only things that really satisfy me anymore are, you know, big things like time or money or space. Like, it's just everything else is just too vanilla for me. It's, you know, the macrocosmic. That's where the big bucks are.
Yeah. Sometimes I
You know, actually, the microcosmic too. Like, there is something really energizing about the minutia of everyday life, like the little things, right? Like popping pimples. Have I ever told you about that? Oh boy. All right, so when I was like young, like all through my youth, I was acne incarnate, all right? A pizza-faced wonder, but I never let it bum me out. In fact, I loved having these like little putrid colonies of life. I mean, every pustule is a peach. Every pimple is like pregnant with the possibility of a great idea. I used to sit in front of the mirror and like watch them come apart between my fingertips. Pretend I was like a god, right? The god of my own body, disbanding zit nebulas at a whim. And one day they just cleared up. I mean, it's the darndest thing. You know, I had this thing, right? It was like control for me, like this really special thing. And through no intervention of my own, they just went away. And it really irked me. You know, I developed a laissez-faire attitude about my skin. I prayed for zits on every shooting star, but no dice. So you know what I did? Well,
Yeah.
do you want to know? Now, I pop any pimple I can get my fingers on. Like, really, I can't be in the same room with a visible blemish and not try to pop it. I just want to get to know it, you know? Even when I hook up with somebody, it's all I can think about. I hear, like, run my fingers down their back. The pimples speak to me, like in this pimply braille code, begging me to, like, release them. Let them ascend. God! I mean, it really is the only thing on my mind sometimes. Like, I'll ask for a cigarette, and I don't smoke. You know that. Not cigarettes. But I'll ask for one anyway. And not to light it up, but to pinch and pop. It's a compulsion. But one day, I'm going to pop a pimple the size of Everest. I'm a conqueror, don't you know? I've got it in my blood.
No, dude, all I'm saying is that there is only now.
Man, I think I'm evolving past desire. Like mortal desire. Yeah, like, really, I mean, the only things that satisfy me anymore are big ideas. Huge ideas, like money, time, or space. Everything else just seems so vanilla to me. Like, macrocosmic. I mean, that's where the big bucks are.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes I just
Or you know what? Actually, the microcosmic is really interesting too. I mean, there's something really energizing about the everyday little things and the minutia of life, like popping pimples. Oh man, don't get me started. Have I told you about that? Okay, so when I was young, like all throughout my youth, I was always acne incarnate, like a pizza-faced wonder. But I never let it get me down. You know, I actually love having these little colonies of putrid life that were mine. Like every pustule is a peach. Every zit is like this great idea, pregnant with possibility. I mean, you just stand in front of the mirror and just watch them come apart between the pressure of my fingertips. Like I was a god, right? I imagine I was the god of my own body, and I could just disband little zit nebulas. On a whim.
It's weird. I don't see a pimple on you. Like,
That's the thing. I mean, it's the darndest thing. I don't have any more. They went away. Like, it really irks me. You know, like, it was this one thing in my life that I could control. Like, this special thing. And then one week, with no intervention from me, they just naturally cleared up. And I tried everything. Like, I just took this laissez-faire attitude towards my skin. I mean, I prayed for pimples, like, on every shooting star, but no dice. So you know what I do now? Well,
yeah.
do you want to know?
Yeah. What?
Now, I pop any pimple I can get my fingers on. I can't be in the same room with a visible blemish and not want to, like, get to know it better, you know? Like, even when I, like, hook up with somebody, sometimes it's all that's on my mind. I'm running my hands down their back. It's like this pimply braille. They're speaking to me, asking me to, like, set them free, help them ascend. God. It really is all I can think about sometimes. Like, I'll even ask for a cigarette. And I don't smoke, you know that. But I'll ask for a cigarette, not to light it up, but just to pinch and pop. It's a compulsion. One day, I'm gonna pop a pimple the size of Everest. I'm a conqueror, don't you know? It's in my blood.